Okay, we can now head down to Parc Ferme and hear from our Kumho BMW runners.
Parc Ferme with Brad Sheehan, car number 28, second in class, third in race number 2 today.
Yeah, thank you. A bit of an improvement from race 1, but we actually took a bit of a gamble there and went for slicks, even though it rained quite hard just before we went out. So it took a bit of building up. But the slicks from the first race, I had a big off coming to Surtees here, hitting oil, and I flew across the grass and damaged some. My newer slicks have been damaged. I've had to put some really old ones on, which took a bit longer to get some heat into. But it's good fun. It got close racing, to be fair, because you couldn't come off line to overtake. That's what made it so difficult. I was being held up for most of the race, but the pace was at a pace where you couldn't lunge on them because you would have crashed.
Absolutely,
so it's just being a bit smart.
I'm just looking around other cars in Parc Ferme. There's not many other slicks. What made you make that decision when you knew it was going to be pretty greasy?
Well, I didn't think it was going to rain again, so I thought let's just take a gamble. I was starting from the back of the grid, so I had nothing to lose really. To be fair, Darren, who just beat me then, he was on slicks as well, but he got past a couple of back markers before me, and I got a bit behind, and then slowly caught him up again. But it was good fun. I just wanted to keep it on the black stuff, to be fair.
So in terms of your weekend, 1 DNF, 1 third place or second in class, is that a good weekend?
Not for me, no. I normally win both, but there you go. You can't win them all, as they say.
Gotta be honest.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Normally I'll get a good qualifying and get a good start in race 1. And race 1, for some reason, I got the worst start I've ever had. Missed second gear, couldn't get second gear, and started from the back again. And then making my way up to 4th place, decided to throw it off over here. So that was my own fault there.
Well, look, third in the race, second in class. Really appreciate your time. Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers, Brad. Right, we're going to grab. Can we find Darren? Can we grab you for 2 secs? Can you get back out? Yeah. Can you squeeze back out for us? I know you're keen to get off, end of the day and all. First in class A.
Yeah, absolutely. What a result. Took a bit of a gamble at the beginning. We all sat around in the pit saying, what's it going to be, wet, dry? A couple of the guys in the team a couple of guys in the teams went for the wet tyres, and I thought, well, I've not had a great result this weekend with qualifying in the first race, so I thought, got nothing to lose really. Stick the slicks on and see what happens. Very slippery out there to start with, but after a few laps it started to come in, so starting to catch the guys, and I could see them as I was coming down this good straight here, going around clearways, and I'm thinking they're getting closer, I can't see them this time, and just went for it really.
Because Brad said he was on slicks as well, so it was a really tight, close race.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought Brad might have come up behind me and caught me. He was starting from a bit further back on the grid, but yeah, it's a great race, really enjoyed it.
Niall over there on the invitation, can't catch him, can we?
No, not this time. Next time.
They might not invite him back.
Well, you know, it's always good to have a good driver out there, and he is a great driver, so, you know, hats off to him.
Well, look, rain stops, sun is out, it's glorious. Congratulations,
absolutely.
A great weekend.
Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. See you.
Dave, back to you.
Okay, we move on to our next race then, the final race of the weekend, race 2 for the Goodyear Britcar Endurance Championship, the trophy category. Cars are heading out to the grid, so we'll bring you the grid very shortly. We'll bring you the starting drivers and also the details of pit stop penalties for the top 3 in each class in race 1. This grid is based on the second fastest time for each car in the qualifying session that we had this morning. Okay, I'll have a look at the grid then. And in pole position it is the number 10 BMW of Woodrow Motorsport. It'll be Simon Baker taking the first stint this time. Kevin Clark will take over. Alongside him, number 74 Mark Lee in the SVG Ginetta. Second row, Axel van der Veen driving solo in the Datum Motorsport car. The 2 Ginettas have pit stop penalties for their top 3 in race 1. 74 will serve an extra 10 seconds. 111 an extra 15 seconds as the race winner. No pit stop penalty for the BMW. They will start as favourites as long as they run problem-free. Alongside, though, on the second row should have been the 98 car of Lee Frost and Lucky Kera. I don't think that car's taking the start after the problems they had earlier on, unfortunately. Row 3, number 2, which is the Ginetta of Peter Spano and Andy Bentley. Andy Bentley will take the start this time. Alongside number 15, Richard Higgins in his Porsche. He will have a 15-second pit stop penalty, 1 Class 2 in race 1. The fourth row, number 14, Terry Stevens, he'll have a 5-second pit stop penalty in the Peugeot. And the Team Brits, number 70 BMW, Andrew Tucker starts, will hand over to Charles Graham. No penalty for that car. On the fifth row, the Mac G Racing Mazda RX-8. I'm not sure if that car's coming out for this one. We don't as yet know the starting driver. I'll double check that one in a moment. Alongside them, number 40 from Simon Green Motorsport is Jasvir Sapra and Brian Branson. Jasvir Sapra is going first. On the sixth row of the grid, 308 Steve Rothery. He got a grid penalty according to the grid sheet I've got, so we'll double check the reason when I can. Alongside them, 177, the PrepTech Clio. It'll be Ryan Firth going first, sharing with Andy Mollison. They have a 10-second success penalty. Row 7, number 199, which is the RKC Honda Civic. Ricky Kuma, the car owner, going first, sharing with Mark Simmons. Alongside them, number 41, which is the first of the Clios, the Thompson family. Aaron Thompson will start. Steve will take over. They have a 10-second penalty for second in class in race 1. The 8th row, number 19, which is the Reflex Ginetta. Not the best of races for them in the first race, the Class 3 points leaders. Jamie Vinall-Meyer will start that car. Steve Griffiths will take over. Alongside them, the Anton Spires Clio. It'll be Anton driving second in this one. Darren Gerhardt is taking the start. Row 9, number 27, Charlotte Birch in her Ginetta. Starts alongside number 45, which is Arthur McMahon in his Honda Civic. He's got a 5-second success penalty. Row 10, number 67, with a 15 success penalty, James Black. He won the Clio class in race 1. Alongside number 35, the Chandler Motorsports VW Golf. Andy Wheatley taking the start. Stephen Chandler will take over. They have a 10-second penalty at their pit stop. Row 11 is number 11, which is the Motus One Clio. That's got a 5-second penalty. Steve O'Brien starts. Matt Cherrington takes over. Number 62 alongside them is another Westbourne Motorsport Clio. Started this time by James Colburn. That car went off in race 1. Tony Davies will take over. Row 12 is number 80, which is Anthony Hutchins in his Porsche Boxster. And number 46, Robert Taylor in his Golf. Row 13, number 34, which is Alistair Lindsay Seat. Hopefully he's been able to get that back out after going off in race 1. Number 71 won't be starting. That's Bobby Trundley and Luke Pounds BMW. Accident damage from race 1, putting them out. They won't be on the grid. Row 14 is the Class 3 winner from race 1, number 57. Barry McMahon takes the start this time. Paul Plant will take over. They have a 15-second penalty. 47 alongside them. Stuart Gibbons starts. Jamie Vinall-Meyer takes over the Ginetta. They will swap cars midway through. And the final row, number 83, which is the Cook family. Edward Cook going first. Steve taking over the Honda Civic. And completing the grid, number 119, James Chase in his Mazda MX-5. They're already rolling behind the pace car then. A 50-minute race. The pit window opens after 20 minutes. Simon Baker in the BMW. Mysterious problem hit them halfway through race 1 and forced them to pull up and do a quick reset. They'll aim for a victory this time. No pit penalty for that car. One we missed out there, Anthony Hutchins. He has a 5-second penalty in the Porsche Boxster, third in Class 2 in race 1. The Mazda RX-8 is out there. It's Josh Tomlinson taking the start. We didn't get the starting driver for that one initially, so it is Josh at the wheel for race 2, first stint. Pace car is in pit lane then. Here we go with race 2 for the Goodyear Britcar Endurance Championship Trophy category. 1 or 2 gaps on the grid. We are underway with Simon Baker in the BMW taking the lead down towards the first corner. Mark Lee into second place. Axel van Nederveen is third. And a good start by Andy Bentley in the Class 2 Ginetta up into fourth place. One car that was missing was the Lee Frost and Lucky Kera BMW. That's not there. Not sure if Steve Rothery's Peugeot is there as well, as the Simon Baker BMW leads them round the first lap then, but a long way to go yet. Second place is Mark Lee. That's 2 more Ginettas behind them. Great to see Andy Bentley up there in the smaller Ginetta, the Class 2 machine, the G40. Steve Rothery is there. There's the Peugeot. Apologies there. Alistair Lindsay's got the Seat back out as well. He's repaired his bit of front end damage. Hopefully a good clean race this time. 20 minutes before the pit window opens. It's Simon Baker who leads for Woodrow Motorsport. Good start by Richard Higgins as well in the blue Porsche, up there in 5th position. 6th behind him is Terry Stevens. And then we've got behind him Jasvir Sapra at the wheel of the number 40 BMW, shared with Brian Branson, who we saw out in the last race. Busy weekend for Brian. Normally see Jasvir Sapra in the Kumho BMWs as well, but concentrating on Britcar this weekend. There he is, the grey car ahead of Terry Stevens. Now he's got ahead of the Peugeot up into 6th position. Behind them is Andy Tucker for Team Brits, and Sapra going past Richard Higgins. The Porsche ran wide there through Graham Hill Bend. Next in the order behind Andy Tucker is Steve Rothery, then Ryan Firth in the Clio. Now if Simon Baker and Kevin Clark's car runs problem-free here, it should be win number 5 of the season for them, but you can never predict anything. Anything can happen in motorsport. Here at Brands Hatch, it generally does. Baker leads from Lee, Van Nederveen, Bentley, Sapper up to 5th. He's ahead of Terry Stevens and Richard Higgins now. Clio class leader is Aaron Thompson, number 41, a bit further back. He's in 11th place. Nice steady start on this damp but drying track. Down the hill into the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. Steve Rothery in the Peugeot was taken out in a collision with Bobby Trundley in race 1. Repaired the Peugeot. Sadly the BMW beyond repair. Good to see that James Colburn's car is back out after its damage in race 1 as well, sharing with Tony Davies. James taking the start this time, so at least he gets some laps in. Didn't get out in race 1, unfortunately. Baker leads by just under a second from Mark Lee. Andy Tucker having a go at Richard Higgins. It's Andy Bentley's Ginetta leading Class 2. Class 3 is being led by Jamie Vinnell-Meyer in the blue at number 19 Ginetta further back, and it's Aaron Thompson that leads the Clios. A couple of invitation class runners as well. Well, actually only one. James Chase in the MX-5 running in Class 3 invitation. Because the only other invitation class runner, Lee Frost and Lucky Kera, didn't take the starts. Baker leads. About 3 or 4 car lengths clear of Mark Lee in the Ginetta. They've been battling at the top all season long, but an interloper arrived at Silverstone in the shape of Axel van Nederveen, sharing with Adriano Medeiros at Silverstone, driving solo this weekend. They're already lapping James Chase in his MX-5. Lead gap 1 second. The BMW's done a 52.808. I would love to see that car, as they hinted earlier today, out in the endurance category against the bigger GT cars. A very potent machine that Woodrow Motorsport have built. Jasvir Sapra's up into 4th place now. He's got ahead of Andy Bentley's slightly less powerful Ginetta. Andy Bentley under fire there from Terry Stevens in the Peugeot. Steve Rothery's Peugeot moving up the order as well after a brief grid penalty. Lead gap of 1 1/4 seconds last time through. The BMW still with the fastest lap of the race, but Jasvir Sapra's going well. Only started racing about 5 years ago, but has learned very quickly indeed. Taken several wins in his BMWs over the years. Trying to close on Axel van Nederveen for 3rd place. Still leading Class 2 is Andy Bentley. Second in Class 2, Richard Higgins, and it's Ryan Firth's Clio third. There go the leaders, and if anything, the gap has come down slightly. Jasper Sapra still there in 4th place. Bentley coming under fire from the Peugeots now. Class 2 car doing extremely well, running up there with the Class 1 machines. Next final race of the weekend for the Goodyear Britcar Endurance Championship trophy category. Class 1 cars in through. You can tell the cars' classes by their sun strips. Class 1 have a red sun strip on the car. Class 3 have orange. You could see the Cook family Honda being lapped there. Class 2 have green, as evidenced by Alistair Lindsay's car there. In the case of the number 47 Ginetta, that doesn't have any sun strip at all, because it hasn't got a windscreen. Blue flags waving from the marshals to the back markers. Axel van Nederveen is getting aboard now, trying to attack Mark Lee for 2nd place. Mark is desperate for a race win. Not letting the BMW get away here of Simon Baker. Over the line they go, 8 laps completed, 1 second in it for the lead. That sky's going dark again. I hope we're not going to have another cloudburst. Sapra some 4.5 seconds back on Van Nederveen in 4th place. So they come up to lap the Mazda RX-8 with Josh Tomlinson on board. He's getting some laps in. The car retired at its pit stop earlier on. Moves offline there to let them through. It's a new car. The team's still fine-tuning it. Axel van Nederveen still on the tail of Mark Lee for 2nd place. He wants win number 4 this season. The BMW crew wants win number 5. Mark Lee wants win number 1. Over the line they go. Top 3 well clear. What's the gap back to Sapra now in 4th? 4.6 seconds. Andy Bentley still 5th and leading Class 2 in the Ginetta. Terry Stevens' Peugeot is 6th. No, Steve Rothery's come through past both of them. So Steve Rothery is up into 5th place further back. He's come through on the timing. Andrew Tucker is 8th for Team Brit. Richard Higgins down to 9th in his Porsche. And Ryan Firth's Clio rounds out the top 10. Certainly going dark again out there, but I don't see any windscreen wipers on yet. Now, back marker traffic coming into play. James Chase and the Alfa Romeo, number 57 of Barry McMahon being lapped. Barry McMahon unbeaten in terms of overall race wins in the Alfa Romeo Championship this year. That's with his almost touring car spec Alfa Romeo 156. The Irishman. Jasper Sapra trying to menace up behind the top 3. He's got it down to 3.5 seconds now. The gap to Van Nederveen ahead of him. So Jasper Sapra's on the move in that BMW. Still 10 minutes away from the pit window opening. Clio's to be lapped. There's James Black, the class winner from race 1. Now, where is he? He's down to 5th in class. He's struggling a bit here. Through goes the BMW. Just ahead of him is number 11, which is Steve O'Brien. Mark Lee is trying to close up on our race leader now. He has dropped Axel van Nederveen. There's the white Ginetta as they lap the Clios. Somebody running wide there at paddock. That was Anthony Hutchins and the Porsche Boxster. Mark Lee dodges his way through back marker traffic, still chasing Simon Baker. 1.2 seconds was the gap. Through Graham Hill Bend goes the leader. It's under 40 minutes of this race still to go, so a long way to go yet. Still blue flags being shown everywhere. Anthony Hutchins, who raced in the One Make series for Porsche Boxsters and for 924s in the past with that car. It's the lead gap this time. 2.2 seconds, so Baker pulling away by just over a second on that lap. A nice steady race at the moment. Steve Rothery is dropping down the order on the timing screen as he had a problem somewhere. It's not showing us having gone into the pits, so I think Steve Rothery has either pulled up or gone off somewhere in the Peugeot. It's not been his season at all. He had trouble at Silverstone. He has now made it into the pits, so Steve Rothery has got a problem. The pit window is not open yet, so Steve Rothery's Peugeot in trouble. There go the leaders. It was 2.2 seconds. It's less than that now. Mark Lee's just done the fastest lap. No, Van Nederveen does the fastest lap. 52.272. Lee did a 52.281. Baker's last lap was a 52.9, so they're closing him down again. Fascinating battle. BMW versus Ginetta has become the theme of Britcar Trophy this year. Coming up to lap Rob Taylor in the Golf. Driving solo for the first time this season. There's Jasveer Sapra. Now, is he closing on Van Nederveen? A bit slower on that lap, but he's got the gap down to 3.5 seconds. Van Nederveen's all over the back of Lee there through clearways. So they lap Rob Taylor's Golf. 37.5 minutes still to go. A long way to go. Things could change in the blink of an eye, though. Are we going to see another shower of rain? Who knows at Brands Hatch today? The circuit is still slightly damp. Let's take a look at the class lead as well. Andy Bentley still leads Class 2 in his Ginetta ahead of Richard Higgins and Ryan Firth. Class 3, that's led by Steve Griffiths and Jamie Vinolmeyer. It's Jamie on board the number 19 car for the first stint. Andy Wheatley in his Golf in second, and Arthur McMahon's Honda Civic in third. The Clio's led by Aaron Thompson. It's James Colburn second, and Darren Gerhardt's is third in the Clio division. And of course, one invitation class runner, James Chase, at the tail of the field, the newcomer in his Mazda MX-5. Now, has Steve Rothery rejoined in the Peugeot? Yes, I think he has, so he's come in with some sort of an issue. He will have to come in again when the pit window opens, of course. Here are some of our Class 3 battlers. Edward Cook in his Honda Civic. Arthur McMahon's similar machine. Just going a lap down there to Simon Baker, and Mark Lee closing up. He's getting closer and closer now as they come up on Andy Wheatley, newest co-driver for Stephen Chandler in the Golf. Oh, and Axel Van Nederveen spun, coming through Graham Hill Bend. He's on the grass. That's the third place man gone. So Jasveer Sapra goes through into third. Can Van Nederveen rejoin from there? He's on wet grass, so he's going to struggle. Trying not to bog it down. He's wheel spinning there. Andy Bentley goes through to fourth. It's Andy Tucker up to fifth in the Team Brit BMW. Terry Stevens sixth. Poor Axel Van Nederveen, the winner of race one. Rejoins. He got it going. It's uphill there. You could see he was trying to spin the car around and struggling with wheel spin, but he's got it going again, but he's quite a way down the order. He'll have to try and score on pit stop strategy again now. Meantime, Mark Lee wants to take the lead of this race. He's trying to close down Simon Baker. Here they come onto Cooper Straight. There's only a couple of car lengths in it. Lapping Alistair Lindsay, the ex-VW Golf racer in the Seat. Stuart Gibbons goes a lap down as well. Now, where has Van Nederveen come through? He's in 10th place. Disaster for the Dutchman. Didn't see whether there was contact there at Graham Hill Bend or whether he just looped it. Whether he clipped a back marker maybe. Lead gap is 1.2 seconds, so Baker pulls away a little in the aircon for home BMW. Coming up on Colburn in the Clio. 4.5 minutes until the pit window opens. And the Ginetta has pulled up. Axel Van Nederveen, has he had another spin? Or has he got a problem? He's getting going again. He may have spun again, I'm not sure. He's now a lap down on the leaders. This is a disaster for the race 1 winner. Is he heading for the pits? We'll wait and see. There go the leaders. It's close again this time. They're coming up on the 62 of Colburn, the Clio. And Mark Lee is getting ready to make a move here, I think, to try and take the lead of this Goodyear Britcar Endurance Championship Trophy race. Over the line they go. 0.6 of a second in it. Up towards Druids. Really putting him under pressure now. A lock up there from Mark Lee. That'll lose him a bit of momentum. Maybe trying a little bit too hard here. He doesn't want to wreck his tyres. Jasvir Sapra still third. He's nearly 7 seconds back on these two now. Class 2 still led by Bentley. Class 3 by Jamie Vinelmeyer in the 19. Don't forget he takes over the number 47 car. He'll swap Ginettas at the pit stops. Through clearways they come into Clark Curve, and Mark Lee almost alongside the BMW there, as into the pits comes James Chase. The MX-5 has come in. It wasn't the tail of the field. Steve Rothery's back in the pits as well. It looks terminal this time, sadly. Mark Lee's all over Simon Baker here. Just wants to lead a race here today. He's sideways there at Druids. He's really starting to push on. Maybe trying to unsettle Simon Baker. Down to the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. About 1.5 car lengths in it between the two of them. Ginetta tries to close up again. They're coming up to lap Josh Tomlinson in the Mazda RX-8. Half a second between the two of them. Couple of minutes till the pit window opens as well. Tomlinson lets them through. Up onto the main straight once again, the Sir Jack Brabham straight. He's got another car in pit lane, Alistair Lindsay. Problems with the Seat, possibly a legacy of his off in race 1. 2 minutes till pit window open still. Up the hill towards Druids. Baker defending now. Mark Lee to the outside. They don't need to go all out just yet. The pit stops are still to come. That could change everything. BMW doesn't have a success penalty either. Mark Lee has a 10-second success penalty at his stop. There's Van Nederveen, who's down in 12th position, a lap down. And of course, he's still got the 15 seconds to serve from race 1. And nose to tail now for the lead. Mark Lee, here he comes. What can the Ginetta pilot do here? Again, the BMW has the straight line speed advantage. Simon Baker pulls away. Van Nederveen, it looks on track as if he's still third, but he is a lap down after spinning earlier on. Into Druids go the leaders. Coming up to lap Jamie Vinelmeyer in the blue Ginetta. There's our third place man. There he is, the grey BMW. Jasvir Sapra from Warwickshire. Well clear of 4th place to Andy Bentley by about 18 seconds now. The Class 2 leader still up there in 4th overall. Great effort. Second in Class 2, Richard Higgins. Ryan Furr third, so no change there. Aaron Thompson leads the Clios ahead of James Colburn and Darren Gerhardt. James Black, the race 1 winner, only 4th. Class 3, it's Vinelmeyer who leads there ahead of Andy Wheatley and Arthur McMahon. So no change in Class 3. Arthur McMahon just had a moment at clearways onto the gravel, but he's rejoined. The pit window opens now. Pit window is open. Time to make their mandatory 2-minute stops. Well, for most cars, but except for those carrying success penalties. There's a dozen of them doing so. Who's going to be the first to come in then? And another spin for the Ginetta. What has happened to Axel Van Nederveen? Has he damaged his tyres when he went off or something? Has he got no grip? Stuck there on the outside of clearways. And I hope he can get going, otherwise we will have the safety car that we inevitably seem to have every time the pit window opens in Britcar. Can he get it going again? Has anybody come in at the moment? It doesn't look like it. The only pit visitor we've had is Steve Rothery, and that's to retire. Baker leads it from Lee. 1.25 seconds in it at the timing line. Sapra's got the gap down now. He's got it down to 4.4 seconds to the man ahead of him, Mark Lee. Goes for the outside, and that's because the leader comes in. So the leader in at an early opportunity, Simon Baker, to hand over to Kevin Clark. Van Nederveen has made it to the pits as well, so no safety car needed. Okay, the leader is the first to stop effectively along with Van Nederveen. Darren Gerhardt's brought his Clio in as well to hand over to Anton Spires. They were running in the top 3 of the Clio class. So your leader is Mark Lee ahead of Jasveer Sapra by just under 5 seconds. There is Mark Lee. Can he finally take his first win here? He's got a success penalty. Remember, the BMW hasn't, because of those problems in race 1. Finished outside the top 3 in the class. Terry Stevens has brought his Peugeot into the pits as well. Have we had any other pit callers? Yes, Charlotte Birch has come in with the Ginetta. Mark Lee comes in as well. Gives up the race lead. Now, is Jasveer Sapra going to go on? Yes, Jasveer Sapra will take the lead on track in the BMW. So quite a few cars in pit lane already, taking an early opportunity to stop. Another one coming in there. I think that might be the Alfa Romeo that's making its way in. Let's wait and confirm who that is coming in. There's your leader, Jasveer Sapra. He's nearly 20 seconds clear of Andy Bentley in the Class 2 Ginetta. We'll see where the other leading runners slot back in. There's the Alfa Romeo, so it's not that car that's in pit road. It was Andy Wheatley's Golf. He's handing over to the car owner, Stephen Chandler. Sapra continues to lead. The BMW goes back out as Axel van Nederveen goes out as well. Disastrous race for him, 3 spins. He's at least a lap behind our race leader, now piloted by Kevin Clark, and we saw what he can do in race 1. He was lapping, getting on towards 2 seconds quicker than everybody else in his stint in race 1 until the car developed a problem. And that car is the one to beat. Jasveer Sapra leads them. Mark Lee is in pit lane. There is the 74. Team ready to push him back out. SVG Motorsports. Waiting for the time to elapse. They have to stay stationary for 2 minutes, or 2 minutes 10 seconds in Mark Lee's case, with the extra success penalty for second in class in race 1. Now he goes back out. Where is he going to come out in relation to the BMW? The BMW, I can tell you, is just coming out of Clark Curve now. Is Mark Lee going to stay ahead? I don't think he is. Comes out of pit lane. Where's the BMW? I think he's already gone through. Yes, the BMW is coming through towards Halewood. So Kevin Clark, there's the gap, has stayed ahead of Mark Lee. Meantime, Jasveer Sapra has come in. So Andy Bentley in the Class 2 Ginetta now leads this race ahead of Richard Higgins. Andy Tucker's Team Brit BMW is third, and Ryan Firth's Clio up to fourth. Ricky Kuma's Honda Civic is up into 5th position and 4th in Class 2. So we've got 4 Class 2 cars in the top 5 at the moment. We can now head down to the pit lane, where our ace interviewer has got hold of Simon Baker.
So we're here in the pit lane with Simon Baker, currently leading the race before the pits. Not so good in race number 1. What happened?
No, I think literally we had a bit of a gremlin, so when Kevin was out, the car stopped, so it cost us a lot of time. But I was battling a few people, but we got stuck in a little bit of traffic, and obviously the safety car was way too long.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But your stint in race number 2 did pretty well.
Oh yeah, really enjoyable. Obviously, I was concentrating on the start and didn't want anyone to get past me. I have done in the past, but obviously every race I'm learning, just more and more confidence.
But
in the car especially. So.
2 pole positions today, hoping to convert the second one into a win.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we need some more points now just to keep everything, looking good. So hopefully Kevin will bring it home. So.
Fingers crossed. Great work on session number 1. Dave, back to you.
Good to hear from Simon Baker. So it was an electrical gremlin that befell the car in race 1. Now Kevin Clark doing a grand job out there, staying ahead of Mark Lee. He's ahead of the Ginetta by 5 seconds now. Success penalty making the difference at the moment. More cars pouring into the pits. We've got the Thompsons in the Clio in, Steve Thompson taking over. Jamie Vinelmeyer has brought his Ginetta in. Steve Griffiths will take that car over. And Rob Taylor's in the Golf. The Alfa Romeo Giulietta's in as well. Paul Plant will take over at the wheel of that car. Who else is in the number 11? Steve O'Brien in the Clio. Matt Cherrington will get in that car. The Cook Honda is in as well. Edward Cook handing over to Steve Cook. So Andrew Bentley continues to lead this race on the road. He's yet to stop. Ricky Coomer's brought the Honda Civic in. Mark Simmons taking over. Just under 23 minutes of this race to go. So we're past halfway now. About 8 cars have yet to come in. 9 cars, I should say, have yet to come in. So Bentley leads. He's yet to stop. First of the cars that has stopped is the BMW of Kevin Clark, staying ahead of Mark Lee by 5 seconds. And in behind them should be Brian Branson at the wheel of the car started by Jasvir Sapra. So looking at the live timing, we'll have to keep an eye on them. Steve Cook being held there for a safe release. Make sure he gets out behind Rob Taylor in the Golf. We don't want any incidents in the pit lane. The team member just holding them out. Car run by the McMahon family, the Honda. 46 Rob Taylor run by TSR. There goes the leader. Now is he increasing the gap over Mark Lee once again? Yeah, he's up 7.5 seconds up now, so Kevin Clark is already pulling away. Axel van Nederveen in 21st place now after his stop. He's still got the fastest lap of the race though. A bit of a lock up there from Kevin Clark. Getting acclimatised to the car once again. That is your de facto race leader, the first of the cars that has stopped. It's Bentley that leads from Higgins. Andy Tucker third for Team Brit. Then it's Ryan Firth. James Colburn leading the Clios. Who's leading Class 3? I think all the Class 3 runners pretty much have now stopped. Yeah, the only one that hasn't is Arthur McMahon. He leads Class 3. Ahead of the Gibbons Vinelmeyer Ginetta, the Griffiths Vinelmeyer Ginetta. Class 1 is currently led by Andy Tucker for Team Brit, but he hasn't pitted yet. One cart's come back in, James Chase. He's having some problems with the MX-5. He's made 2 stops. Now James Colburn comes in to hand over to Tony Davies. Carving through the back markers there, Kevin Clark. Time for another Woodrow Motorsports virtuoso performance by the look of things. The only spanner that could be thrown in the works here is if it rains again. Anthony Hutchins has brought the Porsche in, there it is, the number 80. Windscreen being cleaned on the Boxster, run by Team IP with Antac. There's the Colburn Davies Clio in the background, repaired after a bit of an off in race 1. There's the leader. Well, actually in 6th place in the classification at the moment, but effectively the leader. Because it's the first car that has made a pit stop. One of the Ginettas coming in there. Charlotte Birch coming in. That's her second stop as well. So she may have a problem. There's Brian Branson. He's 10 seconds down on Mark Lee. Mark Lee a long way down on Kevin Clark now. Tony Davies heads back out in the Clio. Arthur McMahon has pitted from the lead of Class 3 in the number 45. So there's only 5 cars yet to come in. That's Bentley, Higgins, Tucker, Ryan Firth and James Black. They're the only cars that have yet to stop. There is the current race leader. We caught a glimpse of the number 2, the car there of Andy Bentley, trying to stay out as long as possible because he, with all due respect to Peter Spano, Andy Bentley is the quicker of the 2 drivers in that car. He's 11 seconds up on class rival Richard Higgins. Ryan Firth has now come in the Clio to hand over to Andy Mollison. So 4 cars yet to pits. There is Mark Lee. He's about 21 seconds, I think, now down on Kevin Clark. Well, there is Clark. BMW looking for win number 5 this year. Somebody else into the pits there. That's trying to work out who that is that's just come in. I thought it was the Honda Civic coming back in again. No, there's the 199 car of Coomer and Simmons. The BMW has just come in of Andy Tucker from what was 3rd place and leading Class 1. So Clark will take over the Class 1 lead. Just at a 51.837, fastest lap of the day. James Black is in with his Clio. Won the Clio class in race 1. Timed it right with the pit stop, but he's struggled a bit in this one. Was of course leading the Clio class when he came in, but that's because he was the last to stop. Let's see if it works for him again here. Richard Higgins has just brought the Porsche in as well, so the only car that hasn't come in is our current race leader, Andy Bentley. What's his margin over the rest of the field? We'll see as Clark comes through, because I think he'll go up into 2nd place at the line. No, he goes 3rd because Richard Higgins is still in the pit lane. You effectively lose 2 laps when you're in the pit lane here with the 2 minutes mandatory pit stop. It's a level playing field for everyone, as Kevin Clark continues to effectively lead the race. I think the leader has now come in. Yes, Andy Bentley's in pit lane. We can see him there. Coming in to hand over to Peter Spano. 1 minute before the end of the pit window. There we can see Team Brit are in. Richard Higgins, the Ginetta of Andy Bentley, the number 2 from Rahman Racing and SVG Motorsports. The MX-5 is going back out of James Chase, run by Paul Sheard, former national hot rod racer for many years, now one of the country's top MX-5 preparers. James Black still in pit lane as well. Is that another Clio down there with him? No, it's Alistair Lindsay back in with the Seat Leon. More issues for that car. Well, Kevin Clark about to take the lead on track with Bentley and Spano in pit lane. There goes the BMW. 15 minutes to go, near enough. Stop-go penalty being given to car 41. That's the Thompsons for a pit stop infringement. So Steve and Aaron Thompson, 11-second stop-go penalty. That must mean a short pit stop. So they've got to come in and stop for 11 seconds. The pit window has now closed, incidentally. One car that's not come back out is the Team Brit BMW of Andy Tucker and Charles Graham. They've not re-emerged. So whether they've spotted a problem with that car, I'm not sure. Well, Clark is now back on top of the timing screen. Yeah, there's the Clio, number 41. Steve Thompson slowing because he knows he's got to come in, I would imagine. Clark lapping in the high 51s. His quickest lap of the race, 51.837. The BMW surely heading for victory. 36 seconds up on Mark Lee. There's the Spano Bentley car back out a full lap behind our leader. In fact, I think there might be only 3 cars on the lead lap now. Such is the pace of Clark, Lee and Brian Branson. So with the class battles we'll try and concentrate on. We'll see where Peter Spano slots back in relation to the other Class 2 cars. The Clio has come in, Steve Thompson to serve its penalty. Yes, Team Brit still haven't rejoined, so the number 70 BMW in a spot of bother. Number 11 is lap there, Matt Cherrington in his Clio. Just over 13 minutes to go for Kevin Clark, heading for win number 5, surely this season for this car. Ollie Rubin has been in the car in place of Kevin for some of them. I think we can hand down to the pit lane in just a moment, where Ewan Dunlop is talking to the man who's just got out of the number 2 car, that is Andy Bentley.
Here in the pit lane with Andrew Bentley of Raymond Racing in the car number 2. Just hand it over to Peter. How was your stint?
It was really good. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Peter went first in arguably the harder conditions for sure. So he had to contend with the rain on our dry tyres. And I had a great run of 30 minutes or so in the dry with no safety cars. So yeah, I was able to stretch the legs of the Ginetta. Punching above its weight as usual. So yeah, it was really good fun. I hope Peter has a good stint as well.
And talk to us about track conditions at the moment.
Yeah, they were really good actually. In the first race, I race some historics every now and then as well, and the track conditions are normally better in historics than they were in the first race. There was oil everywhere and sort of people driving around without radiators and stuff like that. So yeah, now they're really good. I saw some big dark clouds on the horizon, but they didn't come to anything.
You qualified in pole in Class 2 for both races, converted the first one. I'm going to say only a 4th position. What have you got to do in race number 2 now? What speed have you got to get up to?
Yeah, I don't know what gap I've given him. It's all, I get really confused with endurance races. I have no idea how it all works. You get out of the car, you're in the lead, and then next thing you know, you're like 2 laps down. It's like really confusing. But no, I think we've given him a good lead in class. Peter's driving really well this year. I hope he just enjoys it, gets into it, keeps his pace up. Yeah, it's a really good race.
Congratulations on your stint. We'll look forward to seeing Peter and yourself later on this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Just want to say thanks to all the marshals as well. Difficult weekend for them. The Orange Army is strong, so we're all big family, and we definitely can't do it without them. So if you're into motorsport, come and join up and be a marshal.
Thanks, Andrew. Cheers,
Thank
mate.
you.
Back to you, Dave.
Good to hear from Andy Bentley there. We'll see if the Ginetta can hold on for a Class 2 win as the leader runs over the curb there, but such is their advantage. I've got a feeling this BMW is going to finish an entire lap ahead of everybody else. 42 seconds up on Mark Lee now in the Ginetta. The gap between Lee and Branson is about 4 seconds. Yeah, 44 seconds is now the lead gap, so that's near enough a full lap of the Brands Hatch Indy circuits between Clark and Lee. The battle for second, 4.75 seconds in it between Mark Lee and Brian Branson, so we'll try and pick up on the second place fight when we can. I think Terry Stevens is now in 4th in the Peugeot. He's 18.5 seconds down on Branson. Where's Axel van Nederveen running? He's in 9th place after a couple of spins earlier on. There is car number 2. They're running 5th. Now, I was about to say their nearest challenger in Class 2 is the Kumar and Simmons Honda Civic. That's just come back into the pit lane. That's a second stop, so whether that's a penalty or whether they've got a problem, I don't know. They've got a penalty. The 199 car, 21 second stop-go penalty, pit stop infringement. That will mean a short pit stop for the 199 car. So they were looking to challenge for the lead in Class 2. So, car number 2, Peter Spano leads Class 2 by 3.6 seconds. There's his nearest challenger, Richard Higgins in the Porsche. So we've got a battle on our hands in Class 2. Andy Mollison's 23 seconds down in 3rd place. Class 3 is being led by the Golf of Stephen Chandler and Andy Wheatley. What's their gap over Steve Griffiths' Ginetta? 4.8 seconds. That's the car leading the championship. Meantime, there's a challenge on for the lead of Class 2 into Paddock Hill Bend. Richard Higgins, he goes through. Richard Higgins takes the lead of Class 2 from Peter Spano. So that's a change in position for the class, and Richard Higgins, that'll help his championship lead in Class 2. And he's up into 5th overall as a result of that as well. First non-Class 1 car. There's the 199 car. It's got to come in. That's been in to serve its penalty. Just caught a glimpse there of the Class 3 leader as well. There it is, the white Golf. That is Stephen Chandler, the ex-junior saloon car racer. He is running in 10th place overall. A couple of laps down, leading Class 3. Now, where is the second place car in Class 3? The Griffiths Vinolmeyer Ginetta, waiting for that to come through. Yeah, about 7.5 seconds down. Well, Chandler and Wheatley have yet to win in Class 3 this season. They pass the number 2 car. Less than 8 minutes of this race day here at Brands Hatch to go. This is the final race. Chandler Motorsport. Stephen Chandler started his career on the short ovals. I think Ringwood Raceway in Hampshire was his home track. Who's leading the Clio class? It's the Colburn Davies car. Of course, no pit stop penalty for them because they failed to finish the first race. They're ahead of Spires and Gerhardt by about 18 seconds. Third in that class are the Thompsons. They, of course, had to serve a stop-go penalty, in addition to their pit stop penalty of 10 seconds. Anthony Hutchins has come back into the pits in the Porsche Boxster. Has he got a penalty as well? Yes, he has. Stop-go 1 second for a pit stop infringement. That's literally stop and go. So a few cars with short pit stops having to serve penalties. You must stay stationary for the exact minimum 2 minutes, plus any penalty you have from the earlier races. Now the leader, car number 10, the BMW, is coming up to lap Mark Lee now. There they are. He's already lapped Brian Bransom, the third place man. There are the 2 BMWs. And it looks as though Woodrow Motorsport are going to win this race by a full lap. The MX-5 back into the pits again. A troublesome race for James Chase. Black and white flag for car 34 for exceeding track limits. That's Alistair Lindsay. He's already had to make a couple of pit stops. Well, a couple of retirements so far. Steve Rothery out of the race, and the Tucker and Graham BMW from Team Brit. They must have spotted a problem at their pit stop because it never rejoined. There's our Class 3 points leader, number 19, now being driven by Steve Griffiths. That's second in class, about 10 seconds behind the Golf of Stephen Chandler. Arthur McMahon is lapped, and yeah, there's the second place car about to go a lap down to runaway leader Kevin Clark. No pit penalty for the BMW, no electrical gremlins so far this time. There's still 5.5 minutes to go, so I won't say that too loudly. I don't want to put the curse of the commentator on things. And there's the number 2 car, the erstwhile leaders of Class 2 in the early part of the race. They led it overall during the pit stops. They were the last to stop. And they're about to go 2 laps down. In the closing stages now, less than 5 minutes of this Goodyear Britcar Endurance Championship trophy category race to go. It's going to be a win for Kevin Clark and Simon Baker, barring any major mechanical malady. or any other gremlins. Just got to keep a cool head here. The vastly experienced Kevin Clark started his career in saloon stock car racing. Moved on through lightning rods with a Ford Sierra on the short ovals, then to Eurocar, then onto the circuits by the pickup truck championship on the Mallory Mile Oval. There could be a challenge for second place here because Brian Bransom is keeping Mark Lee in his sights here. They're on the same lap. The car in between them is lapping them, the race leader. So it's second, first, third, these three at the moment. Slightly unusual, I know. In fact, the leader lets Brian Bransom through there. At least I think he's let him through. Don't tell me that BMW is in trouble again. Is he just easing back, taking it easy here, and letting Mark Lee and Brian Bransom battle for second place? The Sapra and Bransom car run by Simon Green Motorsports coming up on the SVG Ginetta of Mark Lee. Maybe he just doesn't want to get in their way here, Kevin Clark. Maybe he's just taking it easy in the closing stages. The BMW team did that at Snetterton and Mark Lee nearly caught them. I don't think there's any danger of that here. Caught them and went past into the final corner, but then the BMW team took the win back before the finish line. Now, in the closing stages, 2.5 minutes to go. This battle for second is not over yet. Maybe Kevin Clark's trying to push Brian Bransom here to try and get him up alongside, but Bransom sideways there out of Druids, try and get him up alongside Mark Lee. A lock-up from Kevin Clark as well there. Can we have a BMW 1-2 here, or is the Ginetta going to hold off Brian Bransom? I think it's the first time Brian's raced this car. Jasvir Sapra's grey BMW. Clark just shadowing them here. Lapping in the 53s now. Couple of laps to go. Yeah, maybe Clark just keeping out of their way, making sure he perhaps get a race to the line for second place. Terry Stevens is still fourth in the Peugeot. Richard Higgins is going to win Class 3. He's pulled away from Peter Spano now. And Ryan Firth and Andy Mollison. Mollison on board as Bransom had a look there coming out of Druids for second place. Wasn't close enough. Andy Mollison 7th. Van Nederveen is 8th in the Ginetta. 9th is the Kuma and Simmons Honda Civic. And rounding out the top 10, Stephen Chandler's Golf, the Class 3 leader. Just behind this lot at the moment. Clio class led by Colburn and Davies, the black Clio. Mark Lee actually pulls away a little bit, coming towards Clark Curve there. Is it going to be second again for Mark Lee? He's becoming a bit of a habit finishing second for him. Must surely get a win this season. Kevin Clark has backed off. He's lapping in the 54-second bracket now. These two still racing on the limit, though. Brian Bransom trying to catch the 74 car for second. Now, will it be checkered flag this time? There's only 20 seconds left on the clock, so I think it might be. But, of course, if Kevin Clark hasn't lapped these two, they're going to have to go round again. As Kevin Clark is going to win this, I think it's going to be checkered flag this time for the Woodrow Motorsports BMW. Started by Simon Baker. Kevin Clark is bringing it to victory. Is it going to be checkered flag at this time as he comes along the Brabham Straight? Yes, the checkered flag goes out. Baker and Clark take win number 5 for Woodrow Motorsport this season. What about the race for second place, though? Because it's still up for grabs between Lee and Bransom. There they are. Now they're free to race. They're coming out of Druids now, Mark Lee. Here they come down towards Graham Hill Bend. Can Brian Branson make a late move? Nearly everybody else has crossed the line. We'll pick up the rest of the classes in a moment. We've got a race to the line for second place. Through towards Clearways. I think Mark Lee has done enough in the Ginetta. Brian Branson will have one last effort down the straights. They're going to finish on the lead lap. There are going to be only 3 cars on the lead lap. Here they come. Mark Lee is going to hold on in the Ginetta for second place. Brian Branson brings home the car started by Jasveer Sapra for third. We'll give you the rest of the results shortly. The class winners. Richard Higgins won Class 2 in 5th position. Second in Class 2 was the Spano Bentley Ginetta. Class 3 was won by Chandler and Wheatley in the Golf, their first class win of the season. Well done to them. And 25 of the 28 starters went the distance, which is good to see. We'll get the provisional results up in a second. Simon Baker and Kevin Clark, the winners, completing 54 laps. Two other cars finishing on the lead lap. Mark Lee second again in the Ginetta, and Sapper and Branson's BMW third. Terry Stevens' Peugeot was fourth, and Richard Higgins, the Class 2 winner, taking fifth. Well done to Axel van Nederveen, recovering to take sixth overall. Seventh went to Spano and Bentley's Ginetta. Eighth went to Andy Mollison, sharing with Ryan Firth in the Clio. And Kuma and Simmons, despite a stop-go penalty, finished ninth. Rounding out the top 10, the Class 3 winner, Chandler and Wheatley in the Golf. And the Clio class winners were Colburn and Davies, finishing 11th overall. 12th, the Griffiths and Vinal Maya in their Ginetta. That'll help their points lead in Class 3. Anton Spires and Darren Gerhardt in their Clio were next. 14th place for the new Mazda RX-8 of Johnny Mack and Josh Tomlinson. The Thompsons finishing 15th. Their race spoiled a bit by a stop-go penalty. 16th behind them went to Rob Taylor's Golf, then Charlotte Birch after a couple of stops in her Ginetta, the O'Brien Sherrington Clio, James Black in his Clio, the success penalty harming him this time, then Arthur McMahon's Honda Civic, the Gibbons and Vinor Meyer Ginetta, Anthony Hutchins after a stop-go penalty in his Porsche was 22nd, 23rd for the Cooks, McMahon and Plant in the Alfa Romeo were next home, and the final finisher Alistair Lindsay. We lost Tucker and Graham at the pit stops halfway through. Several stops and eventually a retirement for James Chase's Mazda, and Steve Rothery an early casualty in his Peugeot. So that's the final on-track action for today. We'll try and get some interviews with Ewan Dunlop down in Parc Fermé. And then we will sign off for the day shortly. So we can head down to Parc Fermé then and hear from our winners.
Not 100% sure what they were, and we were just hoping they didn't reappear, which they obviously didn't, so grateful for that.
And Simon set you up well, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, Simon did a fantastic job, you know, off pole, and he held his own and pulled away a little bit when he when the pressure was on, which is brilliant. You know, I was really pleased with that.
I mean, it was more than a win; it was pure dominance, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the car's a great car. You know, Woodrow do a fantastic job. It's you know, you can't ask for any better. It really is good.
Really mixed day between races 1 and races number 2. Obviously, we know about the big differences. Where do you go from here into the next set of races?
I think we've just got to keep collecting those points, but obviously we're learning. Well, I'm learning off Kevin, obviously, you know, with his experience every race, so we're just getting stronger and stronger. So I can't see you.
And you're
I don't think there's any going back.
Clearly,
to be fair.
Great end to the weekend. Congratulations, chaps.
Thank you.
I'm going to speak to the man you held off. It's 2 second places, in fact, the car number 74, Mark Lee. Yeah. Mark, we're coming over to you if that's okay. So, Mark Lee is second in both races today. Is that hugely frustrating or hugely satisfying?
I'm not tracking out this time, that's why my pace dropped off.
You're not tracking out?
Yeah, I'd struggle to turn right, so paddock hill quite important.
I mean, yeah, on any race track, not being able to turn right is a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, so I think I'm losing 3-4 seconds a lap.
Do you think you could have caught them if that wasn't an issue?
Yeah, I think they've been there or thereabouts. I think we had the pace, but yeah.
And moving into the next set of races, anything you change whatsoever, or is it just sort of keep plugging away?
More power would be nice.
Wouldn't it be lovely? look, really appreciate your time all you
Yeah.
spent with us the last couple of days.
Yeah, no
and
worries.
great weekend, 2 second places. Love to
Yeah.
see you pick out a win. I know a lot of people watching at home would like that as well, but you can't go wrong with 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Cheers for your time.
Cheers. Thank you.
Now, I'd love to speak to Richard Higgins of the car number 15, but be honest, Dave, not many cars have come back to Parc Fermé, so we might go for a run down the pit lane. I'm going to throw back, and we'll let you know if we can grab anybody of the other class winners.
Okay then, thanks very much, Ewan. That concludes racing today here at Brands Hatch. So we'll say well done to all our competitors and to their backup teams as well. Thank you to them for their entertainments today. And thanks to all the medical staff, recovery crews and other officials here at Brands Hatch today. Hopefully we're going to hear some more interviews in a moment. We'll be back in action soon here on BARC TV as well. We'll sign off properly when we've hopefully heard from some more of the drivers in a few moments' time. Full classified results will be confirmed on TSL Timing's website. Hopefully we can hear from some more of our Britcar racers in a few moments' time. I think, looking over the pit lane, we may have found our Clio class winners, so we'll try and have a word with them, I think, in a moment. Now, let's head back down to Ewan in a moment. Yeah, we've got the Clio class winners down there. We'll hand down to hear from them.
Here with James Colburn and teammate Tony Davies of the car 62. Congratulations, great end to the weekend for you.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, after unfortunately race one, we unfortunately ended up in the wall. Got the team, fantastic job. We got it repaired, Team Westport Motorsport. Got the car repaired and we were back out and obviously from 22nd on the grid take class win.
A fantastic result was there. What was the damage that you took in the first race and how did you repair it?
So again, just cosmetic damage primarily. We were still racing with a bent hub on the left front, so we were suffering a bit of handling difficulties, but we both worked around it really well. Tony's first weekend in the car actually, so did a phenomenal race weekend.
And Tony, do you want to come in? Here is Tony, first weekend and you brought home the win as well.
Yeah, an interesting learning curve. First time I've ever raced in 42 years in a front wheel drive car, which caught me out in race one. But we made up for it in race two, and fantastic teamwork from Team Westport Motorsport. I mean, we did a bit of damage to the car, but they got it fixed and we got a class win.
And where'd you go from here? Are you in the driver's seat next race as well?
We'll have to wait and see.
Is he in the driver's seat?
More than likely, along with many other things, hopefully.
Really appreciate your time, guys. Congrats on a great end to your weekend.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Okay, good to hear from a couple more drivers there. I think that's possibly the same Tony Davies who was in the Vauxhall Firenze earlier on in the Classic Thunder race. But that concludes our action here at Brands Hatch today. And we're going to say one thing to sign off today. Thank you to our volunteer marshals. Today was for them, for the Orange Army. And again, our thoughts are with everyone after the incident here at Brands Hatch yesterday. Thank you to all our volunteer marshals, not only here at Brands Hatch, around the UK and around the world. Volunteers who have come from all walks of life, give up their time, and without whom there would be no motorsport. Thank you to each and every one of them. Thanks from me, Dave Goddard. Thanks for watching and for listening. We'll see you back on BARC TV soon. From here at Brands Hatch, goodbye.